If you look at the white voters without college degrees, this is a Trump base constituency, obviously. You see his huge numbers with this group. You see that this is a trouble sign for Harris. She also, in a place like Georgia, is not doing well with white college-educated voters. She probably wants to make up some ground with white college-educated voters across these battlegrounds as well, Kate.
We did great in 2016. We did much better in 2020. We got millions of more votes. But there has never been enthusiasm like we have now. I mean, I see it all over. There's never been anything like it. And I hear the polls are very close and we have a little lead and a little. I just find it hard to believe because, first of all, they've been so bad. They've done such a bad job. But that's why the enthusiasm is so good, because they never had anything to compare it by. You know, I ran and I didn't have anything at all. I just was a successful businessman and we did a good campaign. But the next time we had something special. We could talk about what we did, but we never could imagine we'd have borders where 20 million people have poured into our country.
Yes, it is not looking good for Kamala campaign. A lot is going on. We recently saw how his family came out to endorse Trump, and Trump did not hold back. He is taking this advantage. We all saw what happened with Mary Trump, how the mainstream media took up 2 days to cover that. But in this case, you will not see them saying a word. Trump responded. According to this tweet, Trump responded to endorsement from Tim Walz's immediate family. Thank you very much, Jeff. It is a great honor to have your endorsement. I look forward to meeting you soon.
She kept looking down, up. Nobody wants to cover it. I know all about notes. I mean, you know, it's all right if people know that, but she wasn't supposed to have notes. So she's asked a question. She looks down. She keeps on. She had notes. That means she knew that she knew what was happening.
Did her campaign, when they said that they wanted to change the rules that they had agreed to, did they ask for notes? Did they ask for the?
They wanted notes.
They wanted to be seated, and they wanted your mic hot.
And they wanted a desk. They didn't want to do. I said, you got to do a stand-up.
After they already agreed to the other.
Yeah, but they wanted a desk from the beginning. You know who else wanted a desk? Sleepy Joe, he wanted it back.
All right, we got to take a break. More with President Trump. We are in Harrisburg.
But they're very nasty, and I think a lot of people are going to be watching to see how nasty they are, how unfair they are. I agreed to do it because they wouldn't do any other network. The other thing is, her best friend is the head of the network. Her husband's best friend is married to the head of the network, and they're going to get the questions. I've already heard they're going to get the questions in advance. They even have Donna Brazile. Remember Donna Brazile? She gave Donna Brazile. She's the real beauty. Donna Brazile. She gave Hillary Clinton the questions. You remember that? And she works for ABC, and she's at the round table talking about the debate. So we're going to watch very closely. But you're not allowed to do it. We even have a clause in the contract. You can't give them the questions, but I'm not sure it's going to help her that much, though. I think you might give her the questions and give her the answers with the questions. I'm not sure it's going to help her. I don't know.
Yeah, Kamala Harris at this point did not get what they thought they will have. After a DNC, they thought she will have a boom. She should be comfortable going into the election, knowing fully well that she will win. At this point, even the polls from the mainstream media, which we all know how they lie sometimes of a sample Democrat, is showing that she still have a problem. That interview, which on CNN, seeing Trump trashing her like she was really unknown. The first day I watched that interview, I had to question it because she was like this at a certain point. So seeing Trump saying like she had the questions is something I don't even want to argue. Now, looking at Kamala, they are in trouble. The campaign is in trouble. At first, when I go on Twitter, my news feed was full of her. Like today, everything, when I go on Twitter, it is Trump, 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 Trump. She is not that getting the boom like they expected. Interviews, we have not seen her. That single interview alone did not hurt.
And Vice President Kamala Harris begins debate camp to prepare in Pittsburgh tomorrow ahead of her first face-to-face matchup with Donald Trump next week.
Mark Meredith is live at the White House. Hey, Mark.
Lauren, Steve, Ainsley, and Brian, good morning. Friends, we are less than a week out for the first and potentially only presidential debate of these two candidates this cycle. And while they will be taking time to prepare right now, they're also reaching out to voters in swing states. Later today, Vice President Harris, she will be in New Hampshire talking about her economic plans for small businesses. Former President Trump, he'll be taking questions here on Fox. The latest prediction from data guru Nate Silver shows Trump still with a sizable advantage in the electoral contest with a 56% chance of winning, the highest he's seen since late July. Trump also leading with Hispanic voters on an interesting issue on handling immigration. Of course, an issue that is central to this election cycle. Still, Harris surrogates say it's important for her not to pivot too much away from her base.
I think it's as simple as letting Kamala be Kamala. She has her own views. We are all different, even if we've been a part of an administration, even if we're in the same political parties. We all have different nuances, different ways that we were raised, different things that we feel more passionately about. I think it could even be just an issue of, say, focus.
One word that we've heard so much about the last couple of weeks is momentum. The Harris campaign, Democrats insist they have it. There's a new memo out from Trump world insisting they've got the real momentum. They point to support from people like Georgia Governor Brian Kemp, Tulsi Gabbard, as well as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to show that they have a broader coalition of people that may appeal to voters in these swing states. So everybody fighting for that momentum.
Yes. When you take a look at Nate Silver here, this is a Democrat operative. We all know, telling you if the election were held today, Kamala can win. Trump will win her by a lot. That is to tell you something. If you compare this to Democrat, the mainstream media polls, you will see the difference. The oversample Democrat so that Kamala can be propped up in most cases. If you look at even their polls, it is not even that why the gap between Trump and Kamala, though she is winning in some cases, it is not big, even after the oversampling. So you will see the difference here. At a certain point, I will tell you the truth, if Kamala is not careful, the way they will trash her, if you look at it now, Trump is even overperforming in some of these polls than the previous 2 times he has run.
This is Trump's biggest advantage, which is why he wants to hold it and why you see the vice president out doing economic speeches. Her ads are also tilting now heavily toward the economy. In Arizona, Trump's up 5 overall. Voters view him as the better candidate by 15 points on the economy. In Georgia, where Harris is tied, maybe +1, Trump has a slighter advantage. So you can see the trend here. In places where Harris is competitive or ahead, Trump's numbers are lower. Nevada is the outlier. This economy got thrown in the trash during COVID. But the key for Harris is to bring this Trump advantage down. Where she's winning in Wisconsin, she's up 6 in the state. Trump only +2 on the economy. This is her biggest challenge. If she can't catch Trump on the economy, at least make him +2 or +4, not +8, 16 or more.
Yes. Do you know what is more troubling? It is the fact that there are still people, after looking at the economy, still having that mind to say, I will still vote for Kamala. Then I don't know. Some will say, oh, because of her stand on abortion. I don't get the point here.
The numbers show that this is still and is going to be an incredibly, incredibly close race. We just heard John go through it. I think what the numbers today show is that Kamala Harris has more pathways, more conceivable pathways to 270 than Trump does, or at least than Trump felt like he did 6 weeks ago when Joe Biden was at the top of the ticket. I think there's no question his path has narrowed. So I think these numbers should give Democrats, they should be heartened. I think it's showing that she continues to build strength in the coalition that she needs to win. And as John was just saying, that she has room to grow. Trump, I think, probably has a little bit less room to grow, in part because he is so well defined. I think it is encouraging. I don't think by any stretch the Democrats should view this as a slam dunk, though. There is a long way to go in this race, and it's clearly very, very close.
I mean, Scott, obviously a few weeks ago, pretty much all those swing states, Trump thought he had it locked up. He was talking about New Hampshire, right? So it is a small solace to say, oh, well, she's only up 1% in Georgia. We can still do that. I mean, It's still got to be pretty grim to look at these for Trump's team, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, he was underestimated badly in several of these states by a lot of polling in 2016 and 2020, including in some CNN polling, I might add. I agree with Kate. I think it's an incredibly close race. Either of these candidates could win any of these states we're talking about. And I also agree with John that the ticket to victory for the middle and for some of these male voters that they're competing for is really to talk about the economy. I had to chuckle a little bit today listening to her talk about her tax policy. I mean, she's like, see, Joe Biden's tax policy is only going to kill you as much as, Jason Voorhees, but I'm more like Mike Myers. See, isn't that better? No, it's not better. They're both scary as hell, and either way, you're going to be dead. And so I think she's going to have to come up with something a little better than I'm going to raise your taxes a little less than Joe Biden is if she wants to do economic competition here
on the capital gains
with
specifically.
Trump.
On the main time, it was
As a result of this.
It does not need to be like this. This is silly.
About Barack Obama when it comes.
Theme here at the DNC is that they're going to go after corporate gouging.
What's your favorite policy of Kamala's?
Her being president.
And if the pace plays,
leaving.
A speech from Michelle Obama that I have to say is one of the best
Gun-toting.
Abby, we were talking.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump. Damn Kamala.
Kamala Harris is in office right now and has not tried to do anything about the border, has not tried to not tax people on tips.
For some people, it's already started.
But when you disrespect Kamala Harris.
They say the economy's great. Just look at the jobs numbers. Well, we did, and they disappeared.
The money in politics is so extraordinary, which is something that should have never been allowed to happen.
When Joe stepped down, did you want it to be an open convention as opposed to going right to Kamala?
Well, here's the plan. Kamala, it was open. Anybody could have gotten in. She wrapped it up. You have to give her credit for that.
I do, totally.
Yeah,
and the Democratic Party, you know what? That's the smartest thing they did. Because they just had a big internal fight. They couldn't afford another one. They would have looked like we always think, oh, they're disorganized, and they just got their you-know-what together.